Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
I'm Helena.
And for today's episode, we have a special guest from Pointless Reinvention. It's Matt.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me.
That's all right.
Huh?
Well, we say that, we've not started getting into the film yet. Right,
Thanks for joining us.
which movie have you chosen for us today?
So I have chosen the 1999 Arnold Schwarzenegger religious horror vehicle, End of Days. A film that I watched probably too young when I was I don't know, I guess I might have been 12, 13 years old and I thought I was being very, very edgy watching this film. Loved it. Watched it completely unironically. And now have come back to it with more of a sense of irony. But still had a very, very good time. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was going to ask what your nostalgia was for it, but you've already covered it, so that's good. There was a couple of scenes in this movie where I was like, this is definitely a film where it's on late at night and you're trying to watch it without your parents realizing the TV is on.
There is one scene when I was coming into this, because initially I'd asked you guys to watch Blood Rain, and then I watched a bit of Blood Rain, and I went, let's not watch Blood Rain. And then, but there was really one scene, two scenes that I remember from this. I wonder if you can guess which ones they are.
It's one, the sex scene, which is when the parents inevitably walk in when you're watching
One was the weird
Scene where the daughter and mother morph together.
The amorphous blob sex scene was one of the scenes, yes.
I feel like that's burned into anyone's skull when they
If you've seen this film, you remember that bit.
Yeah.
The second bit was spoilers when Gabriel Byrne does a piss and then lights his piss on fire and blows up a car.
That was a pretty sick bit, to be fair.
So what's the vague
Story?
outline plot story?
Before
So
we get
Arnold
into that,
Schwarzenegger-
I want to come in hot with something. Matt, are
Yeah,
you
go
just
ahead.
fucking with us? Because you've listened to lots of our episodes,
Oh, yeah.
and you know that Southland Tales was fucking awful, right? Do you know what the fake actor name for Dwayne Johnson's character, Boxer Santaros, is in the movie
No.
Southland Tales?
I haven't seen it, and you didn't tell me any character names.
It's the same name that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character has in this movie.
Is it?
And I realised that
Yeah.
after the movie. And I was like,
It's not John
That's
Smith. His name's
it's-
Jericho Kane.
yeah.
That's
it's the
incredible.
same. I was like, is he fucking with us?
It's such a late 90s, early 2000s sort of edgy protagonist name.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I assumed
Yeah.
in Southland Tales it was supposed to be a take on Jar of Cocaine, and I don't know why.
Oh, I see.
Which
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
make
that makes sense.
It's the
I
last
also
assume
do that in
here
this film.
it's because I guess Jericho and Kane are both biblical references, right?
that makes
Yeah.
a lot of
Probably.
sense. Yeah,
And also wrestling. Chris Jericho, very famous wrestler.
Yeah.
Kane had a big mask on, was red tights, was from hell, maybe. I don't know. There's-
we'll find out.
I don't know if they were around in 1999. Probably, they're both quite old.
Yeah, I think they're old enough to be like 70s wrestlers as well.
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
So End of Days is Arnold Schwarzenegger fabulously miscast as a...
Oh my god, his casting is no. Because
I want to get into the casting a little bit later on.
Yeah,
because
no,
I think
complain.
that's one of the things that you could sort of. I have a theory that you could change very little about this to make it a very good movie.
Yeah,
Right, and we'll get into
and
that a little bit later on.
yeah.
But he plays a sad security expert, I guess, a bodyguard of some description, some sort of job where you protect rich people and you get automatic weapons, right?
Yeah,
And
bodyguard.
I suppose so. But they don't seem to do a lot of bodyguard shit. They're more cops, right?
He's like
Yeah,
a private
uh,
detectives.
Unofficial
Yeah.
detectives.
Yeah, so him and his buddy, not Kevin Smith, are assigned to protect Gabriel Byrne, who has been possessed by the devil, because the idea is that once every 1,000 years the devil comes back to Earth and tries to. How are we on swears?
It's fine.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he tries to
already
fuck a
swollen.
girl and she
Yeah.
to
So
end
the devil
world.
really wants
Yeah.
to do a fuck.
It wants to fuck
and-
approximately on my birthday, which is cool.
Yeah, approximately
Yeah.
just a little bit before January 1st.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So around my 7th birthday, this takes place.
Yeah.
So
And the Catholic Church are very into stopping this.
But he wants to fuck someone quite particular.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a chosen person that he's put a little tattoo of a U on.
Yep.
And that's how you know.
And they cut open a rattlesnake over a baby.
And they cut open a rattlesnake, which looked disturbingly like a real snake.
It did. What I want to know
couldn't
is,
find out
like,
what it was, but it did look a lot like they'd actually just killed a snake.
do you think every single hospital had a snake
Has a
ready
devil basement.
just in case?
Yeah,
This has one rattlesnake in each of them.
Just in case.
because it seems as if the Satanists in this movie, full of Satanists, right, are sort of, they're in all of the positions of power, right? They're in the hospitals, they're in the police, they're in, I assume, the fire department, because nobody seems to be checking up on all of these huge explosions which keep happening.
Yeah, the way the demon comes out of the sewers exploding, I was like, okay. And then the scene where it possesses Gabriel Byrne,
Yes.
it was so weird because it was like tense, devil coming, and then just a normal scene, and then tense, and I was like, cool. And it goes on for like 8 or 9.
It goes on for a very long time.
It just lost all of its tension by the end. I was like,
And
just
also
hurry up.
Also, he is the Predator as well. I don't know if you've seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Predator,
Oh, yeah.
but it's the
Yeah.
same effect.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
He's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
even. He's not invisible. He's just
I
like.
thought you meant the way he walks up to that woman and gropes her.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
was
no,
a
no.
Predatory.
Gabriel
I was like,
Byrne.
I don't disagree. That was
No,
quite
Gabriel
weird.
Byrne is a Predator in this
Yeah.
film. Certainly. Yes.
But yeah, no, it is it is the same shimmer effect.
Yeah,
the
I assume
invisibility,
it
but
is
not invisible.
literally the same effect. Is what would be my assumption.
It's not the best premise ever, but
It's
I thought it was
classic.
quite nice to have it with Y2K alongside it as well. So you've got
For no reason.
Yeah,
It was
I
all like,
liked all of the framing devices, sort of the radio announcements coming on, being like, "No, and everybody's coming up to 2000, and we're all gonna go a bit mental, and all the computers are gonna break, and all of that." See, but without any actual like radio audio production, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was all just very
So it
clean.
was just a voiceover, and then I was like, "Oh, this is supposed to be radio. Why haven't they put like a bit of crackle on this or something?"
No, didn't have time.
No, they
I
were
guess not.
they were
They had to
just-
get it out the door.
yeah.
Look, this film feels rushed.
Yep. They were too busy making the point that I have to bring up the most in this movie, the worst smoothie of all time.
oh yeah, that was pretty minging. They're just supposed to demonstrate how like depressed he is. So that he
Yeah,
just
I think
needs
that's what it
fuel.
is.
But
When that scene started and the other guy comes in, he's like, "Honey, I'm home." I was like, "Is Arnie canonically gay in this movie?" And
I would have been
no.
so happy.
But you know, it would have been way better to have a gay
But the
guy
thing
fighting
is,
the
Arnie is
Antichrist.
miscast within 5 seconds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
for
moment
sure.
you see a guy, hand shaking, put a pistol up to his head and go to pull the trigger, and then you realize it's Arnold Schwarzenegger doing it, you go, "Oh, well, this has lost all
and then when
any sort of emotional pathos for me," right?
and then he just pours some Chinese food and some leftover other bits and loads of other shit into a blender, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Pepto Bismol, I think, went
Yeah.
in there.
Pepto-Bismol and
Coffee.
a bunch of stuff, like a whole loaf of moldy bread went in there.
Yep. It was,
Yeah.
it
And
was
coffee,
gross.
and yeah, and then he drinks that down. And
Yeah.
but the thing, because I quite like in the hands of better actors, right? The dynamic between Jericho and fucking what's his name doesn't
That's all
matter.
right. We never
we don't
remember.
We don't remember names of on this
The
one.
buddy
Not Kevin
cop buddy.
Smith.
Yeah.
The other not cop.
Would have been quite fun because they had some like they had some pretty standard buddy dialogue, and they joked about his alcoholism, and it was cool, right? But it wasn't, because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger doing it.
The other guy, it felt like a friendship where one of the friends was way more into it than the other. Just because it was like buddy friend, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger, a deadpan response. It was like, this is awkward.
Yeah, because occasionally they make Arnold Schwarzenegger do jokes, right?
Yeah,
when the lady, when Christine, the lady protagonist, is like, "Oh, I've got these like Xanax or whatever. They relax me. Do you want one?" He goes, "No, I drink." And I'm like, in anyone else's hands, that would have been a joke.
It is. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad honesty.
Yeah, it was just a sort of a health warning: don't drink and take Xanax. Like,
But also, he's supposed to be this mess of a person, this sort of, run down
see it,
alcoholic.
they say like, "Oh, you've
Horrible
been
mess,
drinking."
but he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he looks like the healthiest person alive, and you never really see him.
You also never see him drink. That is,
Yeah.
an
Which is a
interesting
weird
point.
choice. Was that like an age thing?
I don't know. Maybe it was a certification thing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it seems like a very
maybe.
conscious choice to have a alcoholic as the main protagonist, or at least a drunk, and not have any shots of them drinking.
Yeah,
They might
I
have
don't know
filmed
because
like
there
a
was.
shot and,
I mean, when
like,
I was a
cut it
kid,
out.
when we did a anti-drug, just say no to drugs musical in school, right?
What?
But they wouldn't let us say
No,
the words
what?
drugs or make any say any of the names of any of the drugs. Maybe it's like that. Where the studio were like, well, you can have your rating, right? But you've got to take out all the drinking.
I thought if you could have nipples, you can probably have drinking.
I don't know.
Can I just take it back a second? You said that. Like, that happens at every school everywhere. You did an anti... I'd step away from the film, put the film down for a sec.
Sure. I'll place it gently to one side.
Yeah, you did an anti-drugs musical. The word musical is what got me. You were like, we had a talk. No, you did a musical.
No, I'm picking
No,
the
we
episode of Community right now.
wrote a whole we wrote a whole musical about it, but we couldn't say drugs or make any relation to any real drugs, so we had to call it. We had to do it all about eating too much toast.
Wow.
That's
Because
incredible.
The toast was a metaphor for drugs.
My school was so much more jaded than that. We had to do the only thing we had about drugs was we had one drug and alcohol awareness day, and then I think a year later we all had to fill in an anonymous, in inverted commas, survey that asked us basically if we knew anyone who took drugs, how likely we were to smoke weed, did we know anyone that sold weed, and other thoughts like would we ever consider. And then it was just like apparently for a random survey, but then coincidentally everyone that had put any answers other than no got called in and had to do like this course on like drug safety. It wasn't like prevention, it was like on drug safety. They taught kids how to like inject heroin safely and like all these
I respect that.
And it was like our school was like, right, okay, well,
I don't respect
they're gonna
the
do it by the
invasion
looks of
timing,
things.
obviously.
Let's just tell them how to do it safely.
But I do respect the attitude of we'll just let them know how to do it safely because they're going to do it anyway. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
This kid to the front of the class. Let's do a demonstration.
Yeah,
get the spoons out.
Favorite ever class.
Yeah, we're going to put the condoms on the banana, and after that, we're going to inject an apple with heroin.
See, my school was such a shithole that it was just like, we know that pretty much everyone in this room is doing drugs. So we're just going to show you a horror film where someone dies after taking drugs. Fuck you. That was it. That was it, because all the teachers were like, if we ask them, they're all going to say yes.
Sure, so we'll just put on Requiem for a Dream and leave them to it.
Yeah.
My school only showed the first hour of Shrek.
Anyway,
we all went to very different very different styles of education. Anyway, so back to
the film. Sorry, I had to
pick up the movie again.
Yeah, put the movie back on the table. I had to. That was
so we're roughly at the part where Arnie gets shot for his crimes against Smoothies, but he's wearing a bulletproof vest, so it's okay.
Yes.
And then Arnie has to get to a helicopter, and then he's like just fucking hanging from the helicopter like Spider-Man, trying to like chase
fucking sick as hell.
That scene goes on forever. That chase scene is so long and drawn out, and it's like, why is he still hanging on this? And it's like, I also wasn't sure at what point he actually got released, so I was kind of there trying to look for the like rope.
It's when he reaches the pavement.
Yeah.
I think he just runs out of rope.
What are they going to do? Like get him to grab him and then bring them back up to the chopper?
Yeah,
I think
that's what they were trying to do at one point, but then they decided not to do that.
No,
I guess they ran out of rope. I don't know. My main problem with that scene is, why does Gabriel Byrne need bodyguards? Because later on, Arnie shoots him with a rocket launch and no less than 3 times, and he's fine, right? What's that priest got?
Maybe
I
he doesn't
think that
realise
maybe it
he's
was
possessed.
prearranged because he doesn't know. Like I thought that maybe he had the bodyguard thing set up, and then the devil.
Maybe.
Anyway,
was there ever a reason why it was Gabriel Byrne specifically?
I don't know. I think one of the worst character, the really annoying bald fat priest.
Yeah.
I think at one point says that he was selected in the same way that like Christine was. So I assume there was the same kind of like Snake and Udo Kier doing a Latin ritual at his birth. But we just didn't see that bit.
Yeah, it's a different kind of snake. They used a black mamba.
I thought that maybe it was because he's already corrupt enough to take on the body and wouldn't fight it.
Possibly. We find out nothing about Gogolburn's pre-devil character. That's the trouble.
Absolutely know nothing about him, which is
all we know is that he was a banker.
Yes.
So I think we can assume terrible person.
evil person, evil to his core.
Deserve to be possessed by the devil, as do all bankers.
The film is so, when it's not outside, it's so dark.
Yes.
And that was something I really struggled. I was trying to watch this yesterday with quite bright sunshine. I didn't do this film justice, but it was so dark at times. I was just like, I'm just watching grey shapes move around.
That's right. I think even the editor complained about that. Like, I was looking at some of the trivia and it was like, yeah, this is just, they hated it because of how fucking dark it was the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fix that.
No.
Can't fix that in post.
Just make everything grayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sort of felt like, you know, when you're watching
Shapier.
you're playing a horror game and it makes you change the settings to make everything dark so you can just see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the thing that I never do. I always do it like twice.
I always make everything super exposed because I don't want to be spooked. It felt like that, but where you turned it all the way down, the darkness all the way down. Yeah, I was struggling so much.
What the movie did do us the courtesy in that nothing actually happens in the dark.
Yeah, no.
scenes.
Whilst I missed a lot, I didn't actually miss anything relevant or useful.
No, they find the priest's tongue in a dark scene. That was dark.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can
But
tell it was a
apart
tongue
from
though, because I did that actually. I did enjoy was the totally unexplained and never talked about again cat in the fridge.
Yes. Why? They just had to have it, and then you know what really annoyed me about that, which I actually wrote down, was that Arnie references. He goes, I knew that was going to happen, right? Referencing the fact that the cat being a jump scare is a played out horror trope. And I was like, you can't just say it and then still do it, Arnie. You're still doing it. You're still doing the thing, even if you're being self-aware about it, you bastard.
It was a bad spring-loaded cat.
Yeah.
Because that trope is called the spring-loaded cat. Do you reckon that's how they found like a different kind of evil, was they cut open a cat?
Maybe.
So they
Do you
keep it in the
think
fridge.
that it was in the fridge because the priest was eating cats?
He might
Why
have
was
been.
it yeah, maybe, but why was it
He was a very weird guy. Well, because cats do like to be in a fridge sometimes, right? I feel like
if
that's
it's a hot day and you leave your fridge door open, you might get a cat like getting in there. But
I feel like sacrificing a cat would be very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not a species of animal that gives up easily. They're quick and sharp, very sharp.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
you have to build its trust first, and that's
a snake only has one sharp end. Cats are sharp all over.
All over. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get you.
Exactly. My cat hates it enough when I try and put the flea stuff on the back of her neck, let alone if I try to slit her throat.
Sure, put her in the fridge. But maybe that's why the fridge calms it down.
Yes.
For like crabs, you know, if you've got a crab in the fridge, they get all lethargic. Maybe it's the same for cats. I don't know.
Put a cat in a small dark space, it'll definitely get calmer. That's how you get cats calm, is you put them in small.
You can find them.
You can find them. Famously chills cats out.
Just the complete opposite of catnip.
Yeah, the cat did not come across as lethargic when it bolted
No,
out of
it it yeeted itself out of that fridge.
And then it's never mentioned again.
Yeah.
No, not even a devil
so
cat.
that does bring us back to, I think the next scene that really caught my attention was Satan's UTI.
Yes.
That was grim, even though you kind of
hang on. Have we skipped part? Hang on. I don't want to take away from Flammable Piss because that is an excellent scene.
Yeah, I think.
Have we skipped past the bit? No, we haven't. It's directly after this, isn't it? The bit where Miriam Margolyes kicks the absolute living shit out of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah,
it's my favourite scene of the movie.
That should happen more to action stars. They should get beaten up by old ladies.
Exactly, get beaten up by Professor Sprout. Also, this is the day. This is everything that happens on my 7th birthday. So anyway, continue.
Yep.
So on my 7th birthday, we have the guy being sealing Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, that was
he was a skater boy. He said, "Oof," a bus hit him. and then
nice jumper or whatever he says.
Oh well, I like your sweatshirt or something.
He said something like that, and the guy was, and then he was rude because he's a skater, and the devil didn't like that.
And then we have the flammable piss. Also, after finding out the whole.
Sorry, back to the flammable piss. Because we'll get back. We'll circle.
Yeah, I think my issue with that scene is that it takes a while. Like, it's really like, okay, so he's pissing, like, okay, well, he's a scumbag, Jesus, devil, doesn't really give a shit, that's fine. But then you're like, okay, it's thick. I was like, okay, maybe he's peeing blood.
Thick piss, yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, he's peeing, what is it, petrol?
I don't know. I mean, I get because not Kevin Smith does a little sniff, doesn't he? Like that, but he could just be smelling piss.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like all the options are pretty stinky. But he like sniffs and gets out the car.
Yes, and just as he does that, gets exploded by piss.
Yep,
piss explosion.
Yeah,
I guess it's because the thing is,
trying so hard to be edgy and like
it's trying incredibly hard. Yeah.
Like these taboos, like the aforementioned mother-daughter threesome scene with the devil. Yes, they sort of merge in quite a graphic way.
I don't understand what was going on in that scene, because I think they all sort of go into
they merge.
Do they all sort of go into Gabriel Byrne because they become one?
I think they become one because it ends up being Christine's nightmare or something.
Because the thing is, the effect is quite well done, right?
Yeah, no, it was actually quite impressive to look at.
It's a good scene of a cooking happening, so
Technically, it's technically very well done as we watch Gabriel Byrne cuck Udo Kier in the worst way imaginable.
With his wife and daughter.
Yeah, but then I just don't quite understand what the sort of point of it was, apart from that it was just something
edgy,
to do.
Just so bad. Look how awful the devil is, and it's like
they also like to remind the audience every 5 to 10 minutes that the devil is a bad guy.
That's true, yeah. Well, and they also like to remind you that the devil is incredibly attractive, right?
Yeah.
That wherever he goes, women are like, oh, hello, I'd like to see his dick, right?
Yeah.
I'll even sleep with my mum next to sleep with you.
Yeah, exactly, because it happens at the beginning where he gropes a woman and she's immediately incredibly into it, right? And then he walks into Udo Kier's house and he's like, is this your wife? And then she's like, oh, hello, I'm going to get me some devil dick.
But it's really strange.
It's very weird. And Gabriel Byrne is an attractive man,
It's not that attractive.
Not like that attractive.
No, I don't think anyone is.
Then again, compared to most people in this movie.
That's true. It's weird. That's another thing I noticed, actually. How much of this movie is just normal dudes.
Yeah, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right? Yeah, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gabriel Byrne, who are just Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, who is an incredibly muscular, Austrian god of a man. Gabriel Byrne, who is, a movie star level of attractiveness, I guess. And then just 70 normal people.
Yeah, because obviously the priests are all just sort of wrinkly old men.
Yeah.
Well, you have Pope versus Redcap.
Yeah, Pope versus Cardinal Evil, or whatever his name was. Who's like, oh, we should kill, and he's right. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, he is right.
It's like, oh, we can't kill. We can't kill. We can't kill the lady because it's faith, and we've got to trust in God. And the guy's like,
the idea that if we murder the people that the devil targets, are we not also quite bad?
Yeah, and I would argue that the Catholic Church has done quite a lot of crimes already by this point in history, and probably killing the wife of the devil is fine. Yeah, a weird hill to die on, given the history of the Catholic Church.
We can't kill that particular person. Killed in the past, but not that particular person.
Yeah.
Also,
I draw the line at the devil's wife.
I'm not saying that there's a hole or two in this plot.
Surely not.
What?
But morning after pill, early abortion. What
Yeah, but it's magic in it.
But that's the devil's power.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not very Christian, but neither is giving birth to the Antichrist. So
No,
yeah, no, that is true. Imagine trying to explain to the priests, though. Imagine trying to explain to the Pope. It's like I know you tried really hard to keep me alive, but I have to.
God, what a Sophie's choice! What a Sophie's choice for religious fundamentalists to go. Well, we can. Either you can let this lady take the morning after pill, or you can have the Antichrist and watch him explode.
Just to clear this up for me, because I ended up by the end of the movie was not sure. He wants to sleep with Christine.
Yes.
Is that to impregnate her? Because it says something about siring a child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And would
he
the
wants
child
to
then be
knock
the
her up.
new devil, or
No, the
new
child would be the
Antichrist?
Antichrist, I think, but
Okay,
would
'cause that's
unlock
what.
the gates of hell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I was trying to
It
work out. 'Cause
leaves.
it was
They're
like
trying
it
to
would.
start the apocalypse. That's
Yeah,
my.
it would be like devil made flesh or whatever. Because he's
Yeah,
currently
they're trying to
only
do
possessing
revelations
bodies.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I thought it was that, but then I was like, by the end of it, I wasn't sure if he was actually going to like have her have the baby and then possess it.
So what will happen
Possibly.
is he will. The plan was the devil impregnates this woman. 9 months later, the gates to the hell open.
Mm.
Because there was never any talk of like the child would be birthed immediately.
No.
He's got to wait 9 months. They've got time. Like they're
Yes.
all rushing. They've got time.
So what happens if from conception, then one of the evil cardinals like shoots her in the head?
Yeah,
Well,
or the tummy, or
Yeah.
or she miscarries, or I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I know that it's not like the best Hollywood plot point to be like, well, she could have an abortion.
Oh, I would.
Just a
What-
very chill.
What a
yeah.
move on the part of Hollywood.
But
Turns out
yeah, it's a
pro-abortion.
weird discussion. But then at the same time, like the way they don't talk about it is like,
It's very
Okay.
glaring. Yes.
Yeah.
has he got like super sire sperm and she'll just be immediately pregnant and there's nothing they can do about it, and it's a very
Arguably,
Yeah.
a much better ending to this movie is that the devil doesn't come out of the floor and you see that horrible CGI effect, but it's just that Gabriel Byrne gets what he wants, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger takes Christine to the family planning clinic.
I like the idea of the devil getting the woman pregnant, and then just like standing there and going, "Damn, I forgot the humans take 9 months."
just like outside the abortion clinic, there's just people with cards like abortion's wrong. This is it bad. They're like, yeah, she's got the Antichrist in her. Fuck off.
There's a devil in her. She's got a devil in her.
yeah, it's a weird. It was such a glaring hole and very dismissive of Christine's body autonomy.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
The
it was a
film is
90s
really
movie.
weird about this idea as well that it's not going to be rape, and he doesn't rape anyone because all
Yeah,
these
it's
women
weird,
want,
isn't it? They're like,
want
oh,
him.
that's what you want.
But it's like, oh yeah, I've been dreaming about him my whole life, and I don't think I could say no. And it's so grim as a
It's
concept.
grotty. Yeah.
Is that where the devil draws the line then?
Well,
I
even the
think I
devil
want to.
asks for consent.
Yeah.
Well, she
Like-
doesn't seem all that into it when she's
But
tied
even
up.
because
does she?
even
But-
when she's like, because they do at the end of the day tie her down to like the altar, don't they?
yeah, and
And
if you have
even
to tie
then-
someone
even
down
then,
against
it's
their will,
so
they're not going to be
clearly-
into it.
Yeah, it's so clearly like an assault at this point, a kidnapping and an assault. But even then, he's still going like, "Oh, you know, this is what you really want. I'm Gabriel Byrne." That's not what he sounds like, but you get the point. Like, he's
Yeah,
still. It's
yeah.
almost like it's a narrative that he's using to try and convince himself. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not so bad,
And it's trying to
really."
convince the audience as well that it's not rape. We're not using the R word. We're not like
Yeah.
it's not that.
It's-
But it is, and it so obviously is, because
It's
even
the
if
devil
their
in
argument is
Minecraft.
she wants it because the devil has commanded.
Has made her. Yeah,
made her
it's still
want it, and
coercion.
that's coercion.
Yeah.
It's still an issue.
It's still fucked. But yeah, but also he's the devil, so why can't you just like own that?
He's allowed to be
Yeah.
evil. If there's any character in fiction that's allowed to be evil,
Yeah, it's the
It's-
literal devil.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so I don't
man.
know what the idea that that he has to convince her, and that he can also be like Arnie can also unpossess himself through willpower
Through-
as well.
But
It's like
through
this
like no,
devil
it's
is,
I think it's
yeah.
heavily implied that it's a Jesus thing, right?
well,
'cause
yeah,
he sort of
does get
finds his
Yeah,
faith
crucified.
right at the
after he's
end.
crucified,
See,
yeah.
The only time Jesus in this film is heavily implied and not just shown explicitly.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's one of the few times Christianity is implied.
It's not
'Cause he
subtle
goes-
though, is it? He is crucified. And
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, but then right at the end, right, he sent the whole movie, being like, faith, that's bullshit. My
Yeah.
wife and kid died, and so Jesus and God, I don't believe in them, but also they're fucks, which seems
Yeah.
weird. Where he's like, I don't believe in them, but they're both assholes. And then at the end, he like sees a statue, and he's like, oh well, now I believe in Jesus again, and they're good. And he's like, oh God, help me, right? And then he gets possessed in what is at the same time both one of the best sequences of effects in the movie, and then immediately the worst effect I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah, like when all the pews and that were all exploding, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like all the windows
yeah.
and shit.
It's another part of the real dichotomy that I have with this movie, in that some of the effects are fucking so good.
Yeah.
Some of the practical stuff that they're doing is incredible. And then every time they switch to CGI, it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
Is it just because it's 1999?
Yeah,
and
I guess
the
so.
CGI is shit.
It's not aged. It's not aged well.
It's not much about this film has aged well.
No, that's true.
This film is a mess. Because so that's essentially the
I
story.
was thinking this might put Jericho off praying. And immediately everything goes wrong.
But no, because he has that moment of belief. That's why, God's like, well, all right, even though you're possessed, I'll let you throw yourself onto the fucking Chekhov's big statue with a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if I was told and then saw evidence with my own eyes of the devil coming back, I'd probably also start believing in God again quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand, though, because one of the big sort of plot points in the film, right, is where Gabriel Byrne, the literal devil, turns up in Arnie's apartment, right? And at this point, he has not seen Gabriel Byrne really do anything wrong. Doesn't seem to believe that he's a devil, hasn't really seen him do anything evil. And Gabriel Byrne goes, hey, it's me, the devil. You're sad because God fucked you over, right? Your wife and kid are dead. You've heard from Christine herself that she kind of does want to bone down with me, Gabriel Byrne, the actual devil. If you just tell me where she is, I'll give you your wife and kid back, and it'll be like they never went away, right? And Arnie goes, no, you're the devil. And it's like, what? As a character beat, that makes no sense. Surely.
Yeah.
It's strange. I mean, it's, to be fair, to Arnie, not a bad argument, because even if you don't particularly believe in God, that doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically on side with the devil. You might not.
Sure.
And also, like, there's so many, even songs, and it's pretty much unanimous that, like, don't make a deal with the devil, you will not be better off. And it's only when he's dying and in, like, serious amounts of pain, or like his buddy cop is on fire, and he's like, yeah, you'll be amazed what you agree to when you're on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those solid
That's
fantasy.
how. Yeah.
Why is the devil throughout this film? And I only just realized when we mentioned crucifixion and why is the devil crucifying everyone he comes into contact with? Why does the devil care that much about crucifixion?
I don't know.
Just a
I
little
guess
fuck you to God. He's like, hey, your only son.
I guess, it's a biblical thing, which I assume is the main reason. They were like, oh, this happened in the Bible, so it'll be cool if we do it to a person.
So the
easily
crucifixion of
recognisable.
Jesus had literally nothing to do with the devil.
Well, it was the sins, wasn't it? And who makes people sin? The devil.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think of that.
Yeah.
At one point, he looks up at a stained glass of Jesus, and he goes, you died for nothing. So I don't know, maybe that's a thing. Maybe he's just like got beef, Jesus beef.
Yeah, we've all moved on as a people, but the devil's still really hung up about that.
Yeah.
If anyone in the universe, if any creature in the universe is gonna have be petty, it's gonna be the devil.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Which is
absolutely.
fair.
Well, I think he is petty after that teenager snubs him and he immediately gets hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Or after like Udo Kier's like, oh, I'll give you the address, but you'll have to go and see the lady, and he punches his head off.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, so if this is supposed to happen every 1,000 years as well.
2000.
Oh, it's every 2,000. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was no. It's the 1,000 years has ended, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was thinking maybe like when it was 1,000 years before in the year 999.
Yeah.
Maybe the baby that was gonna get fucked by the devil just didn't live that long.
Yeah, just
Well,
I thought he talked
dysentery.
about his reign, and that's why you have the Dark Ages around then.
Oh, I thought like the priest could just get hold of a kid easier back then.
Oh,
I thought they The Christian church could probably find the woman and kill her a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the
faster than
Catholic
they could.
in
Probably do a lot
999,
of
the
the hard,
Catholic
heavy
Church were
lifting.
probably
Yeah.
much less reticent about killing a baby.
Yeah.
That's true.
You'd be like, oh yeah, no, this baby's going to grow up and have sex with the devil and then give birth to the Antichrist.
They were
Like,
killing
oh, okay.
babies for being Satans that weren't even Satans at that point.
They were killing for a lot less back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
1 in 4 babies were killed on suspicion of being
They
a
might have done
Satan.
it by accident. They might have just stumbled across the woman.
Yeah, to be fair, well, what would it take? Like the midwife or whatever not washing her hands, and
Yeah.
boom, you've got a baby with
Got an
consumption.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a real toss up for the devil before like
Modern
1920.
Before modern medicine, it was like a chance he was taking.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he took much more of a scattershot approach before that. It was like 1,000 babies, and it was like, well, it's not going to be we're not going to have as good of an Antichrist, right? It's going to be like 1,000th of an Antichrist.
Spread it. Do you reckon that's why he's like sleeping with every woman he comes across, just in case?
Just in case.
Just-
Yeah, maybe.
He hasn't got out of the habit yet.
Yeah,
No,
he
exactly.
can't open the gates, but he can open the cat flap to hell.
Yeah, this time.
Everyone can get his head through, and he's like, fucking God damn it. Stop.
I guess. So, out of 10, how many attempted antichrists would you
No,
give
I've
this?
one other thing.
Okay, one more thing. Okay, let's go.
Backstory to the film being made, and this is why, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger being picked as the lead and Miss Carr.
Oh yeah, because we wanted to go into casting. Yep, cool.
Yes.
So I was reading about, because whenever we watch particularly boring films, I look up the history, the production, because all of these are productions. Guess what? Another financial failure. Shocking.
Of course. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This
All these
one won Razzies. I think.
So many. So the main thing, Tom Cruise was meant to be the lead originally.
That would not have been better.
I think it would have been different.
Yeah, different
Oh yeah,
vibe.
different, but not better.
Yeah, and then so that's the main thing. The other thing, Sam Raimi and Del Toro were asked to direct this before the director did.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when you said earlier, you don't have to make many changes for this to be a good film.
Yeah.
There are 2 changes that would have made this a good film. One is Sam Raimi,
Sure.
and the other is
The other
Del
one is
Toro.
fucking Guillermo del Toro.
How
Fuck.
How good would this film have been if it was made by
Yeah,
Del Toro?
absolutely.
Oh,
Because I
man.
maintain like that there are a couple of plot holes, obviously, that we've been through, but the script is like not awful.
No, the
It's
concepts
like-
are all there. It's
It's
just executed
reasonably by the
badly.
numbers, but the effects, most of the effects are really good.
Yeah.
Right? The fucked up, when you see the Gabriel Byrne like eviscerated after he's been shot with bazookas and so on. That's like really good practical effects. The bit where the Matrix looking homeless guy like falls into puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
That's a really good effect. All of the stuff that they do with like the churches and the candles and like all of the miniature work that they do is great, right? But what lets it down is when they go, oh, we're going to make a 300-foot
Yeah.
CGI devil.
Yeah. And have Arnold Schwarzenegger as the main character because he's
And have Arnold, yeah. So
he's not
here's my-
convincing as like this troubled
no,
cop.
exactly.
He like immediately goes
Yeah.
into Terminator mode.
yeah, but
basically, and does
the thing
does
is
what it
that
has to do.
there's no, absolutely, yeah. But the thing is, there are right. This is one of the best movies I've ever watched for Arnie screams. For right, there's so much of that, and it's glorious. So I don't think you want to play it completely straight, right? So here's my pitch for you. Instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you keep Miriam Margolyes, you keep Gabriel Byrne, right? I think they're great. Love
Yep.
them. But Nick Cage as Jericho Kane.
Of course.
No,
Oh,
fair.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can see that actually.
Tell me
The
that's
fact
not
the
immediately
energy-
better.
The energy that he would bring.
Yeah.
the raw, unusual mania he would
Because he
bring.
still has that sort of mania, that sort of scene chewing, face pulling thing that Arnie does. But he also like can act.
Every now and then. Yeah, the thing is, if you pick him, there is a chance that it will be even worse. Because
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it depends on
true.
what Nick Cage you
yeah,
get.
that is
Yes.
the Nick Cage problem. That's the Nick Cage coin flip. Is it might be bad for no particular reason other
Yeah.
than Nick Cage just decided.
Well, I
it
think
was.
the way that you make sure is that you have to have the right company, right, and the right production team behind it. And I think Nick Cage does his best. Like, if you say Nick Cage's best films to date have been with Spec Division, right, with Elijah Wood's production company.
Yeah.
Put them in charge of a remake. Put Nick Cage as Jericho. We'll have, I don't know, let's get actual Kevin Smith to be not Kevin Smith. Right? Nick Cage and Kevin Smith going around solving devil crimes. Fucking, I mean, I'm so into that.
I want Del Toro. I want Del Toro because I want to see what his demons would look like.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want to see the monsters that he make, because they never really turn into demons. They just turn into like people being evil. Del Toro would be like, they now have wings that work. One of them is fuckable.
Yeah.
Gonna build a mech to fight this one.
One of them got no eyes, but eyes on his hand. One of them's got 10-foot nails. Watch this happen.
Yeah. I think that would be
I
incredible.
think Antichrist and End of the World films are always going to be fairly like doable, and like there's always going to be like it's a pretty solid concept.
Yes.
But it was just so
badly
poorly executed with this.
Yeah.
Just this
It was bad Constantine. The whole film, I was like, this is bad Constantine.
That is what it is. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are down on the Constantine film with Keanu Reeves. I love it.
I love it. I think it's so well cast. But also, I think Tilda Swinton is one of the best actresses ever.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
She's in it as an androgynous angel.
Yeah, imagine if she'd been Gabriel Byrne's character.
Oh,
I like Gabriel Byrne in this, but imagine Tilda Swinton as the devil in this.
Tilda Swinton just playing like weirdly off-putting and distant the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. Having weird cuck incest threesomes.
So I guess, out of 10, how many characters would you replace with Tilda Swinton?
All of them. Arnold
For all of its
Schwarzenegger.
flaws, I do still find this movie very entertaining. I think enough of it is it holds up as like just a bad movie watch, you know?
Yeah.
It's a movie to eat popcorn to and get drunk and just enjoy Arnie yelling and some cool special effects. I will give it a solid 7.5. Tilda Swinton being replaced. Tilda Swinton replacing characters.
That's so generous.
Which one's the half? Just half.
Gabriel Byrne. Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah, no, she plays the legs of CCH Pounder, the chief of police.
Gabriel. You have Gabriel Byrne's play like the human side, and then as soon as it's devil, it's Tilda Swinton. Because she's terrifying and it'd be chilling. It would be such a shift in dynamic. Fuck, now I want to see Tilda Swinton as the devil at some point. She's played everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be incredible.
It'd be so scary.
I think I would give this a 3. Cats in a fridge. I didn't enjoy this film at all, really. I mean, the only bit I really enjoyed was watching Professor Sprout beat the crap out of Schwarzenegger.
That's got to be, that scene alone is worth 4 stars. 4 cats in fridges.
No, because there's no other real redeeming qualities, and I'm quite angry about Christine being carved into that guy, and it was like, oh no, it's Christy. It was like Christ in New York.
Christ in New York, and she's like, Christine York.
It's Christine York, and I'm like,
and then the guy's like, you're quite good at being a detective, and I was like, yes, I am.
I'm like, where's the Egon then, mate? Yeah, it was just so janky in that respect. Oh man, I wouldn't recommend this film to anyone to watch ever, really. So I'm not gonna give it more than 3.
I think
no offense.
I think mine's like 3.5 because
what gives it the extra half? Also, don't put half a cat in your fridge.
Don't put half a cat. No, you can put half a cat in the fridge. Don't put a
We know that guy's done worse.
If you put half a cat in the fridge, it lasts longer. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't
you
put
can have it for later.
But I don't know what's giving it. I think I like the concepts. I like all of like using Christian imagery. There is a good film in there somewhere, and I think that a few changes would fix it. But my God, for how much happens in this film, it is boring. Like there is never not something happening, and all of it is dull. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how it's so both action packed and boring, and I don't understand.
I think it's because all the action scenes go on for about 2 minutes too long.
Well, they never end. They run into the next action sequence.
It is totally gratuitous, the amount of, and it's because they've got Arnie as the lead, so that's his forte. That's what you've got to do. He looks best sweaty and punching people.
Yeah, sure. Don't we all?
Yeah. But yeah, I think 3.5 burning piss STDs. Which is a sexually transmitted demon, which he has.
Sure, which is what Gabriel Byrne is.
Which is exactly the storyline
Not
of
his
this
character
film.
in the movie, Gabriel Byrne, the person.
Yeah.
I thought that was It Follows.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I don't know. I quite enjoyed like all the like crime investigation stuff and like the weird mystery. I'm always a bit iffy on the god bollocks. Like it's just always like I liked all the devil stuff, and then at the end where it's like I should have assumed it would be actually Jesus that helps at the end, I guess. But I was like,
well, obviously, that's what, because if you assume the devil exists, you've
got to assume, exactly.
At the end of the day, you solve it with God. That's how you do it.
But like overall, I quite enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like 6 worst smoothies of all time out of 10.
Hooray!
6 awful ingredients to put in a smoothie.
One of them, half a cat.
Yep.
Half a cat you're taking from the fridge.
Waste not, want not.
Maybe that's how Arnie knew that was going to happen, because all the cats in his fridge, he puts in his smoothies.
That's dark.
Yeah.
That, for some reason, that particular joke is dark.
We're not being invited onto Pointless Reinvention again because we'll reinvent smoothies badly.
Yeah, it's just cats.
For some reason, we keep going to cat sacrifice as a podcast, and we don't know why.
The trouble with cats in a smoothie is it's like a kiwi. If you don't peel them first, you're going to get lots of fluff in your teeth.
They're sharp. They're sharp all over.
Yeah, you'd have to strain it.
Yeah, you would. You have to push that cat through a mesh sieve.
Yeah, that's why it's better to juice your cats rather than put them in a
Oh
blender.
my god.
Yeah.
No, because then you lose some of the thickness.
Yeah.
You lose some of the nutritional value of it.
It depends if you want a juice or a smoothie, I guess.
How thick do you like your eviscerated cat in the morning?
Yeah.
The morning.
Well, yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
know,
you
sure.
hair of the dog. Half a cat. You know?
If you don't wake up with a gun to the head and then a cat smoothie, are you even waking up?
I mean, okay. One last hypothetical.
Yep.
Which half of the cat, if you had to?
Left.
Front half.
Left. That's a curveball. I like it.
Yeah.
Bottom half. I want the legs only.
Yeah, but then you've got to have cat butt.
I'd quite like
That's
to
the
have,
least meat is the legs.
No, the from top down. I want like the
top
bottom.
down.
I want the bottom half.
Oh, okay.
I want legs.
I think
I'll
we could
allow
go
it.
for some nun smoothie with left cat.
Yeah.
It's not a smoothie. It's just a cat. It's just ground cat. It's just a cat. It's not a
Ground meat
smoothie.
that you're slurping down.
I don't know. It depends on if you let the blood or not.
If you're putting other stuff in it, then it's a smoothie. But if
Or
it's
like a
just
banana.
cat, if it's just cat, it's not a smoothie.
Yeah, what's the
You've got
base?
the-
You got your orange juice in there.
Well, hang on though. If I get like,
Let's not do the recipe for how to make cat smoothie.
if I get 4 bananas and blend them up, right? That surely is just a banana smoothie.
Yeah.
It's sort of banana puree, I'd say. At
Yeah,
that
you've
point.
got banana puree. If you add milk, then you've got a smoothie.
Or like orange juice.
Ah, okay.
Or like some leftover Chinese food. Or
Yeah.
Or some moldy bread.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a
Moldy bread,
smoothie-
a bottle
I
of
think a
Pepto-Bismol and some coffee. Now
I
we're
think a
talking.
smoothie is more than one thing blended together.
Exactly. I'm just imagining, you know how like a few years back there was a craze of like smoothie shops where you could put anything in it?
Yes.
There's just like half a cat hanging up on the wall.
You can have
No, it's in
Mars,
the
you can have
fridge.
Snickers, you can have half a cat.
It's in the fridge. Anyway, like that. I'm sorry, listeners.
Okay, so after that horrific discussion, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
I've been Helena.
Matt.
And I've
you
been
can
Matt,
say-
I
you can say
suppose.
you've been Matt. Yeah. There we go.
I have. It's true. And will continue to be so for the foreseeable future.
Until you're put in a smoothie. Matt,
Until
where-
somebody puts me in a smoothie.
apart from having horrific smoothies, where can people find you?
You can find me at Matt's Music House pretty much everywhere. I am on Twitch where I make music and play games and do various silliness. I have a podcast called Pointless Reinvention that Dan Faulkner has been on, and hopefully some others will come on, where we reinvent topics that don't need fixing and we make them much, much worse.
Fuck, I
What
just
else do I
realised
do?
the episode I was on was reinventing pets.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
We didn't reinvent any of them as smoothies, though, which is
No.
good. If you are in need of a band for your wedding or bar mitzvah or birthday or whatever the case might be.
Satan birth. Satan birth.
Satan birth. Yeah. If you're in need of a band for your satanic ritual, please do also look me up. Again, Matt's Music House or Talking Bird Music is the place to go for that.
Awesome. And you can find this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at HiltonPod. That's at HILTM pod. Let us know what you thought of the episode and let us know which half of an animal you'd put in a smoothie.
No.
We normally just make random noises and some shit just to fill time, and I don't know.
Where the music gets
Yeah.
Sure.
Normally the theme of the film, but my god, I can't remember what this one is. Oh yeah.
I'm glad I'm already recording. That can go at the end.
Yeah.